Welcome to the VC3 News Update. I am Shanette Hackshaw with the top news stories. Camilla Gonsalves, the Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, has officially taken up the chairmanship of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Bank. This morning, at the official handing over ceremony in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Gonsalves will serve as chair for 1 year. In his remarks at the ceremony, the Minister of Finance noted that he was delighted to welcome the visiting delegations to the Gem of the Antilles. In response to his chairmanship, Gonsalves said that he was honored to accept the chairman for the first time since he assumed the role of Minister of Finance in 2017. He also thanked the outgoing chairman, Philip Jepper, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Today I am deeply honored, to accept the chairmanship of the Monetary Council for the first time since I was honored to assume the role of Minister of Finance in 2017. I do not take this responsibility lightly.
He also noted that the role of the ECCB is pivotal for the region's growth.
As has been evident over the past 4 decades, the role of the ECCB remains pivotal to our region's growth and development agenda. As the bank commemorates its Ruby anniversary this year, we reflect on the legacies of our predecessors and are grateful to them for their yeoman service. We celebrate our stellar accomplishments with gratitude and humility. With strong solidarity, determination, and collective action, we look forward to accelerated implementation of the transformative policies and programs which have helped us to navigate tempestuous times and are now helping to make our region more resilient.
Meanwhile, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Bank, Timothy Antwine, delivering remarks at the ceremony, noted that under the former chairmanship of Philip Jepper, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the council made several changes that supported monetary and financial stability.
During his tenure, the council made several decisions that supported monetary and financial stability and advanced both our legislative and transformation agenda. Article 7.2 of the ECCB agreement states, and I quote, "The council shall meet not less than twice each year to receive from the governor the bank's report on monetary and credit conditions and to provide directives and guidelines on matters of monetary and credit policy to the bank and for such other purposes as are prescribed under this agreement." End of quote. Today, I confirm that our EC dollar remains strong with a current foreign reserves backing of 92%.
The governor said that notwithstanding the pandemic, the EC dollar remains strong. Antwine also explained what the rising levels of inflation and the Russia-Ukraine conflict indicates for the currency union.
Our latest projections are for growth of about 6.5% this year and about 5% next year, on the back of a strong rebound in tourism and some improvement in air connectivity. I say some because a year ago we lamented the situation. There has been some improvement, though it is less than satisfactory. Can we all agree to that? Yes, we can. So it's a work in progress. A possible US recession in 2024 would impact our prospects for 2025. But at this juncture, it is simply too early to tell. Based on the current track of US inflation in the ECCU should continue to fall. That said, geopolitical events could impact this projection. For example, earlier this week, we learned of the withdrawal of Russia from the agreement to facilitate safe passage of grain from Ukraine through the Black Sea. That could have implications for us with respect to food and even fertilizer. Moreover, climatic events such as floods and droughts could also feature.
Meanwhile, the outgoing chairman, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Jepper, giving remarks, gave commendations to this country on the heels of its recovery from the volcanic eruptions of 2021. Jepper noted that the ECCB is a pillar of strength. He noted that the robust government policy and programs have helped to propel growth in the Eastern Caribbean.
Robust government policies, programs, and projects, as well as the resolve of our people, have helped propel economic recovery in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Growth in the ECCU accelerated to 8.9% in 2022 from a rate of 5.8% in 2021. This welcome recovery followed an unprecedented economic contraction, averaging 16.5% in 2020. During my tenure as chairman, the Monetary Council advanced the people-focused agenda, which I articulated 1 year ago. So there is still work to be done.
Pear also said that member governments of the ECCB have done their best to curb the rise in food and fuel, among other necessities.
Unlike some advanced economies, we are unable to use monetary policy to manage inflation. Member governments have done their best to cushion the impact of rising food and fuel prices through tax cuts and social safety programs. The Monetary Council placed additional focus on advocacy, consumer education, and protection. In St. Lucia, for example, a consumer protection law came into effect early last year. Our regional financial system has withstood many tests over the years. We must ensure its continued stability. Member governments made strides in implementing a legislative reform program to enhance financial sector resilience in the ECCU. The enactment of legislation is now approximately 75% complete. During the past year, a draft Eastern Caribbean Deposit Insurance Corporation Agreement and bill was completed. The implementation of this bill will allow for the protection of depositors of licensed financial institutions.
The 8 ministers of finance for the ECCB member nations make up the Monetary Council, the highest decision-making body of the ECCB. Each year, the 8 members, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Christopher and Nevis, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines rotate in alphabetical order to serve as the Council's chairman. Meanwhile, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's highly acclaimed lecture series in celebration of its 40th anniversary moved to St. Vincent and the Grenadines today, Friday 21. The lecture was held on the heels of the 105th meeting of the ECCB Monetary Council, which is taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The 105th meeting on Friday saw Camilla Gonsalves, the Minister of Finance for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, assuming the chairmanship of the Monetary Council. The Colorful Economy is the theme for the 40th anniversary lecture series, which will culminate with the ECCB at 40 Global Conference, being held in collaboration with the Central Banking autumn meetings at the ECCB headquarters in St. Kitts from November 8 to the 10th. The theme for St. Vincent and the Grenadines edition is Education and Training, Skills for the 21st Century, Yellow and Green Economies. Moderating the night's lecture will be Media Communication Specialist Teresa Daniel, who will manage the discussions generated by the distinguished panel. The esteemed panelists are Deputy Headmistress of the St. Vincent Girls High School, Mrs. Atali Kane Sulen, Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Mr. Apollo Knights, Lecturer of Green Engineering for St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, Mrs. Ari Laidlow, Ferdinand, and International Development Consultant, Dr. Andrew Simmons. And finally, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has suspended all vacation and unpaid leave for officers until further notice, in an effort to ward off any retaliation for the Wednesday night shooting in Kingstown that resulted in the deaths of 5 individuals, including a 13-year-old. In a joint press conference on Thursday with the interim Prime Minister Montgomery Daniel, several cabinet members and police officers, the police commissioner said that the police had received information regarding potential retaliation. He said that according to police information, less than 100 persons are responsible for the majority of serious crimes perpetrated in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and some of the deaths there may be connected. He said that according to intelligence, the bulk of these shootings occurred as a result of an incident that occurred in 2014, when a narcotics deal went awry. Lamont Hector, aka Duchy of Paul's Avenue, Jamal Dutty Bob of Otley Hall, DeAndre Hillocks of Longwall, Ricky Taylor, also of Longwall, died at the scene, while Kashi Primus, a 13-year-old student of Longwall, died at hospital. The 5 deaths last Wednesday bring the murder toll in this country dangerously close to that of last year. There have been 35 killings in the country so far. Commissioner John had noted that 32 of the homicides this year can be classified as murders, noting that there were additional police-related shooting. Those are our local news stories. Continue watching on Channel 114 for regional and international news.